Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering ParaNorman, but this is for Valentine's. This actually comes out on Valentine's Day on the 14th. So we have a little plaque that's Valentine's related. But anyways, before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So today, on this lovely fine day, I am using my Oh Dear I'm Queer mug from Amazon. And I'm using, I found these at Target. They're a freaking $1, but they're to put your tea bags and any teaspoons and stuff. So yeah, but anyways, I'm drinking. Oh, this is so great. I haven't had caffeine yet. So this is me pre-caffeine. I am drinking the Republic of Tea's Brain Boost tea. It's got, where is it? Wait, I think that's it. Okay. It's got green tea, ginkgo, green tea matcha, and ginkgo powder.
And I am drinking Republic of Tea's honey ginseng green tea, the daily green tea. And it has green tea, natural flavors, linden blossoms, eleuthero, and Panax ginseng.
I think we've got a theme here. Yeah, how do you even say that? Okay, anyways. You learn something new every day.
Yes, and I'm trying to find a place that doesn't cover anything. There we go. And I'm using my Don't Mess with Mamasaurus, You'll Get Your Ass Kicked mug, also from Amazon.
Very just appropriate.
Insulated as well.
Yeah. But thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our lovely tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. It's going to be a wild ride. So for the summary of ParaNorman, an old man confronts Norman, the main character, a young boy, about a witch's curse. And Norman finds out it's not as black and white as the legend entails. So for entertainment, I will say that this is the very first time I've ever watched this movie. So this rating is purely based off of first impressions. So I honestly am going to give this movie an 8. This was a solid movie for me. And it's I like that it's they found a subtle way to introduce Norman's ability. So it wasn't in your face. Because the grandma I didn't pick up on until he was in the kitchen, and then they made it more obvious, oh, these are ghosts that he's seeing. And one of my bullet points is love Neil.
Well, I also love how they're she was old and sick and she died. Yeah. She's in a better place. No, she's not. She's in the living room.
Yeah. Well, and that leads me to, I do really like the comedy of this movie. The not yet. When he's the old man's dying, it's not yet.
Yeah.
That was just so great. And then the zombie on the car and
He's screaming all the way down the road.
Like it's like this is a great introductory like horror kids movie for me because it's like it's something that both parents and kids are going to get a kick out of. It's like I don't even have kids and I really enjoyed the movie, so I think it's one of those like fun like horror themed like more lighthearted movies that you can kind of like get behind. But I also like the fact that it does go into, you know, the part of like, you know, feeling like an outsider, not being accepted because you're different. So it touches on that, which, you know, it's good for people to like be able to connect with the characters. And I thought it was interesting that Norman's ability paralleled with what happened to the girl that was accused of being a witch. Like it was just kind of like history repeating itself. And I also liked the different references that they had, like to Halloween and Friday the 13th. I thought that was really fun. It's like, you know, the comedy in general is like really good and solid, but then they have like these little things sprinkled in that's like really only adults can like, you know, understand. But yeah, and then I loved Agatha as the villain, and I thought that her backstory was like really interesting, and the resolve to it was really interesting too. So yeah, so very entertaining movie for me. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a very solid film. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend. Don't let the fact that it's, you know, advertised as a kid's movie like deter you from seeing it. Like it definitely is something that I think quite a few people would get a lot out of. So yeah.
So this was not my first time watching it. I have seen it many times, and I give it an 8.5.
Ooh, wow, even higher. I was not expecting you to rate it higher than me. Wow.
I love this movie. There's a bunch of different things after watching multiple times that you pick up on. It doesn't really just parallel his ability. I'm pretty sure they're in the same family.
Oh.
Her name was Abigail Prendergast.
Oh. I don't remember his name.
His last name is different, but I'm pretty sure it's because his mom married his dad.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
His uncle Prendergast was the one that told him he needs to read the book.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it just kind of went through his bloodline.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do appreciate how this movie, it brings in certain stereotypes, but then it also blows one of them out of the water a little bit. So like the Mitch.
Oh, yes. That was,
the
that was a good little
type,
twist.
Yes, the jock type guy that's like constantly obsessed with his van, working out, not necessarily the sharpest tool.
Yeah.
But is a very sweet guy and is very genuine. He actually cares really, really deeply. He's very sweet to his brother. He's gay.
Yeah, I love how they build up that moment because throughout the whole movie, Norman's sister is like thirsting after.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
after
she's sipping
him.
hard.
Yeah, she's like all over him.
Super thirsty.
And then at the end, they're like, surprise. So that was a fun little
And he's
twist.
just not picking up on it at all. And she's like, well, maybe we can go see a movie. Nothing scary, though. Just kind of flirting with him. And he's like, yeah, that sounds great. You're going to love my boyfriend. He's a total chick flick nut.
Yeah, that was great.
It was wonderful, and I love it.
Yeah. And it's a subtle conclusion to that joke too, which I thought was nice. Like you don't have to be like all out with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also love the different little nods and things. So like when they play into the stereotypes and everything, there's a couple of scenes where like Courtney, his sister, is doing makeup or like painting her nails and all. She's fussing with her hair when she sees Mitch. So they play into that. But for Mitch, they actually show when the van is toppling over a container of like creatine powder.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's funny.
I just noticed it when rewatching it this time. So again, little things sprinkled out. But it's great. The animation is awesome. It's like a mix of claymation and CG. It's very Leica Films, which it is a Leica film, but it's very much their style. Love it. The the characters are all varied and interesting. Like the theater teacher, who's way too into it.
Yeah. Well, it's like it seemed like she was trying to live through the kids.
Seriously,
because she's like she's
my
a failed actress
reputation
or
is
something.
at stake.
Yes. Yeah.
What reputation? You're teaching in like a middle school.
Yeah. Like it's not that serious. It's okay.
Yeah. There is a lot of movies got a movie in this film, especially with like the uncle not actually giving him the details, the important details.
Yeah.
In order to do said thing.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, you agreed to it. I'm free. Bye.
Yeah, I didn't tell him like which like grave site. And,
yeah, no, just read the book that I have in my hands on my dead body in my house. But, you know, this is fine.
I love how the book wasn't actually like keeping her at bay. Not in actuality. Like it wasn't giving her like any peace or rest.
Nope.
It was just kind of like a Band-Aid.
It was. It was definitely a Band-Aid to the situation, for sure. So, other than that, it's just Mitch is a treasure and I love him. and I really like the resolution that they bring to the story. Mm-hmm. It's a very good introduction to horror for kids' films, for sure. Yep. It doesn't go too hard in it.
So for realism, there's a lot that we have to take into account. So I gave it a 2 because there are like a lot of elements because it's one of those movies that you identify with. So there's some realistic aspects, but obviously like there's a lot of movie moments. But yeah, like for example, like the bullying of Norman. The fact that his parents weren't like understanding him and like they thought that kind of like him trying to act more normal would make him not be bullied so much in school and kind of like
fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. The eccentric drama teacher, just because I feel like we all know at least one person that they're trying to like live through.
Just vicariously through other people.
Yeah, and you're like, Well, and then, I mean, like, drama teachers are always known to be kind of, like, eccentric and, just a little bit more.
Teach
more
drama for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I did feel, this is more like a little nitpick, but, like, at the school, why did the bully Alvin have gauges? Like, they were in, like, middle school or something. It's like, I don't think that's a part of the dress code, even like nowadays.
I think it was to make him seem a bit more edgy.
It does like add to his character. Mm-hmm. Like you look at him and it kind of like, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, I'm pretty sure in real life schools wouldn't be okay with that. Unless if he's like, I'm going to break the rules, I don't care. So that, which is totally plausible too. But it's like, it is kind of funny. It's like, why did they give the bully gauges? It's just like, people with gauges don't have to be bullies. But But yeah, it made him edgy. So, or made him look edgy.
They're also becoming more commonplace, so.
True. Very true. The townspeople reaction to the zombies was pretty accurate. I can't say
Accurate mob mentality is accurate.
Yeah, mob mentality and just like immediate decision to violence.
Well, they see a zombie and they're like, you know what? We've seen this movie before.
Yeah. I feel like that's our society's exact reaction if we ever saw a zombie in real life.
The bar owner pulls out a shotgun and clicks it. Kill him in the head. And then no one goes for the head.
Yeah, that's very true. And then Agatha reacting in anger, like, with the situation. I mean, obviously, like, it's a curse and, you know, she's dead. But it's like her being so... having a grudge for so long about the situation is like, yeah, I totally can see where she's coming from on that. But it's like, I would say that the sister thirsting after Mitch like so hard is unrealistic, but
no, that's realistic.
Yeah. Yep. So that's why I got for realism.
So I'm gonna give it a 1. Just looking at my list over here, I can't. It's a wonderful movie, and it has such good comedy and such a good storyline, but it is not realistic at all. Like, how long has Norman been able to see the ghosts? Because the way his family talks about it, it sounds like a really recent thing. But everyone at school seems to know about it and have been picking on him for a good while. And they also act like his kind of almost obsession with death, like zombies and horror and stuff, is also fairly recent. But his entire room is covered in like zombie posters and paraphernalia. Like, he's got a zombie alarm clock. And zombie house shoes.
He's pretty hard. He's deep into it.
Oh, yeah. He's into it. So this is not a new thing. So them saying we need to nip this in the bud and this needs to stop. We need to get him out of this quickly kind of thing.
It's too late.
Like, he's already been in it for a good while. Where have you been? It just doesn't make sense. The theater teacher being way too intense is accurate. I will give them that. The uncle being super vague is definitely a movie's got a movie moment. It doesn't make sense. If he was that big on this has to be done, it has to be done every year by this time with this book at this place, then before he even was able to cross over, he should have been able to convey all of that information. So the 7 quote unquote victims would not be zombies. That's just, they'd be skeletons at this point. More likely dust.
I did think about that too, yeah.
And if you say it's part of the witch's curse, okay, maybe, I guess. But that still seems like a very convenient thing for the movie. Also, the uncle's dead body, that's not how dead bodies do. That's not how dead bodies do.
How is like clinging onto the book?
How it was clinging onto the book, how he was able to lift it, which is another thing. There ain't no way in hell a kid his size is gonna lift that dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a very big dude. And then him like falling over the way he did a couple of times, and then his tongue coming out like that.
Yeah,
no. Most of that was for comedic effect.
Yeah. I was impressed though that they weren't afraid to like kind of show like the purple splotches on the body, and then like the zombies, like they weren't afraid to edge a little bit more towards like the gory side.
It was definitely a bit more gruesome, which was interesting and did help a little bit. But they didn't make it too gross because, again, kids' movie.
Right.
Which is nice.
And as a person that hates gore, it didn't bother me at all, so it's not that bad.
So, and if the zombies wanted to talk to Norman and tell him he had to stop the curse, why act like they were trying to grab him or take him or hurt him and those around him for that long?
Yeah.
It was another movie's got a movie moment.
Plot twist.
A little bit, yeah. When the theater teacher comes out with rollers in her hair was way too damn short for rollers. Be consistent, movie. Come on. You could have just stuck with the mask itself. Put a hairnet on her if you needed to. But you didn't need the rollers. The bag of chips kept changing position in the vending machine.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't notice that.
I don't know how you didn't. The thing kept changing over and over just to make it take longer. Like, they kept putting it back. The fact that they just ignored how Norman got shot with a bolt of lightning and then went through either a skylight or the roof, we weren't really shown which, of the building, but no injuries except a slightly singed shirt.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love how plot armor is actual armor as well there. Puritans admitting that they were wrong about a little girl they accused as a witch when she is really displaying actual powers and brought them back from the dead.
That's a good point.
Sweet message, but bullshit.
Yeah.
And the fact that not one single person just tried talking to the girl before in a few hundred years. Like, my theory is it started out as like, because I think the mom might have still been alive at the time. Her mom going there as kind of a tradition and reading to her like she used to.
And passing down the tradition.
And then it became like a game of telephone and it got kind of convoluted. And now they're like, oh crap, our family is trying to stop the curse. Or like keep it at bay, at least. But just talk to the girl.
Yeah, it's like, why did it take all the way up to Norman?
Like,
I mean, the only other thing I can think of...
The next person in the line gets the book that's like a fairy tale and didn't go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So it just didn't make that much sense. But the cover-up at the end was accurate. Because how are you going to explain that on the news? No, there was a random tornado. That's what we're going with.
I mean, random shit happens sometimes.
I mean, the weather did get a little weird.
Yeah.
So.
Fair.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But yeah, it was. Yeah. There were a lot of movies got a movie moments. It's not very accurate at all, but it is entertaining. It's extremely entertaining. So, take that as you will.
But, yeah, like, overall, definitely, I consider it, like, a great, like, spot on, like, preteen / like, family horror movie, that... anyone of any age. Well, it's like, I will say, like, the gruesomeness, at least for me personally, I wouldn't, like, if I had a child, I wouldn't, like, let too young of a child watch it. So, which is why I said preteen. And some of, like, the jokes and stuff. But I mean, it's like, overall, though, it's a pretty,
I feel like most of the jokes would go over the kids' heads.
Yeah, but it's more like the gruesomeness. So like
Yeah.
the bodies and stuff, and the zombies. Like it is a lighter film.
It is.
But it's like comparing it to like a movie I grew up with, like a Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like I feel like Nightmare Before Christmas is still like less gruesome than this movie.
I can see where you're coming from for sure. I'd probably let Alice see it a little sooner than preteen, just because. I mean, a zombie comes up from the grave butt first.
Well, okay, like preteen, I'm thinking like between like 8 to 12, or like,
Okay.
like that, or 7 to 12.
Yeah, I'd
that
say
range.
probably like 6 or 7 would be fine. Like it's not.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really not that bad.
yeah, no,
There's
but-
like no blood or anything. It's just.
yeah, but suffice it to say, if you're an adult and you have not watched this movie, I would recommend giving this movie a try for sure.
Worth it.
The comedy by itself is great. So, yep.
I feel like this quote unquote scariest part is like at the end when he's trying to get through to Abigail.
Yeah, that's definitely the quote unquote scariest part. It gets more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she's in like lightning form,
Yeah,
that was a cool effect.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
But I could see how that could be potentially scary for
Yeah.
for some kids. Yep. But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and our PayPal donate button available, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. You can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!